while I'm aware of the fact that my husband would absolutely still be working a job regardless of whether or not we were in a relationship, the amount of work and the amount of jobs that he has had to work throughout our relationship is far greater than what it was back when he was a single man. Because providing for oneself is far different than providing for a family of four. But it seems as though the new online conversation when it comes to relationships, because it used to be the whole, oh, who gets served first, the husband or the kids? Whose plate gets made first, the husband or the kids? But y'all finally ran that tired ass argument into the fucking ground. But from what I can tell, the new online conversation when it comes to relationships is who sacrifices the most in the relationship, the husband or the wife, the woman or the man. Two main talking points that I keep hearing over and over again is, oh, the man doesn't sacrifice because he would have to work a job regardless of whether or not he was in a relationship. And the woman doesn't sacrifice because she should feel blessed and lucky that she gets to stay home and raise her kids without having to worry about maintaining a job or paying the bills.
There's always something to be fighting for. There's always something to fight for because negative news travels faster. It makes them money, so they'll have to fight for something so that the algorithm will push their videos. But then people that I'm feeling very sorry for are people who internalize these things, who watch them and internalize them, because these people are just trying to make money, whether it's be the right way or the wrong way. But then you see the ripple effect of it. It creates this gender war, men and women fighting over things that they shouldn't be fighting for.
So as somebody who's actually genuinely happily married, I just wanted to get up here and let you guys know that these conversations simply do not exist in happy and healthy marriages.
True.
These conversations are not being had. From what
True.
I can tell, the two groups of people who seem to be participating in this conversation the most are either A, single people who are not in relationships nor married and seem to have a track record of not being able to maintain a healthy relationship
True.
in the first place. Or two, married couples or people in relationships who are genuinely wholeheartedly resentful of their partner. And hey,
True.
maybe they have very legitimate and valid reasons to be resentful of their partner. I don't know. But I do know what I can tell you is that when you find yourself in a genuinely happy and healthy relationship, this back and forth competition as to who gets to be the martyr, it doesn't exist. It's not happening. Because when you're in a relationship or a marriage where you both genuinely love, cherish, and appreciate one another, you realize that the both of you do sacrifice in different ways.
True.
One may sacrifice more than the other at different points in time because circumstances change, and that is just how life goes. But at the end of the day, you recognize the sacrifices that each other makes, and you appreciate those sacrifices.
True.
Only time you'll really find a couple arguing back and forth about who sacrifices more is when one or the other, or maybe both people in the relationship, feel as though the sacrifices that they make go unappreciated and unnoticed. Those are honestly not the people you need to be taking relationship advice from to begin with.
Yes. It's not everybody that you have to take relationship advice from, especially in this day and age. I always advise people, look for professionals. Everybody has a hot take right now. Look for professionals that have been in this practice. Look for people that are not out here trying to just even make money. People that are out here trying to be bitter because of their own bitter experiences. Because half of the relationship advice you see are people who probably went through some difficulties and now they are weaponizing those things. They dealt with one man that really messed their whole experience up. Now it's all men. They dealt with one woman that took their money or whatever. Now it's all women. It's the person you dealt with. It's not everybody. There are good men out there. There are good women out there. I've never seen anybody in a healthy relationship come out to hate on men or hate on women. You never see that. I've never seen anybody who in a healthy marriage come out to say any negative thing about marriage. It's always the people who tried it, people who couldn't have it, people who probably don't know how to do it right, or people who tried to do it right, but then they got hurt in the process. Now they have every negative thing to say about marriage and relationship. And because, yes, you have phone, you have social media, you have an account, you have anything, so you can come out and you say anything. And then you build a following from it. And then people are listening to you. You're deceiving people because of your pain. And then there's this new one that we see today. They build a platform on all these things. And then a few years down the line, they change and they get married. And now you that have been taking their advice, you are in pain. You're complaining in their comment section because you couldn't learn what marriage is all about and what healthy people and unhealthy people look like. Now you have allowed yourself to be deceived by people's pain. Not everybody is qualified to tell you about relationship and marriage, because the fact that people are in it, or the fact that people feel in it, could mean that they are talking to you from a place of hurt, not a place of healing or a place of where they have healed, however you want to put it.
They're giving relationship advice from a place of resentment. They are projecting the resentment they feel towards their own partner in their own relationship, and they are therefore getting online and looking for other people to collude with them and validate the way that they are feeling.
Remember, misery loves company. If you don't know, it loves company. So miserable people are always looking for other miserable people to recruit.
My marriage, for example, my husband is very aware of the sacrifices that I make, and I am very aware of the sacrifices that he makes. And we both not only acknowledge those sacrifices, but we appreciate them. And it's like, yes, well, I understand the concept of, well, a man would have to work a job regardless of whether or not he was in a relationship, because people love to say, like, what would he choose to be homeless if he wasn't in a relationship? And when it comes to some of the men y'all date and are married to, absolutely, he actually would. Some of y'all's boyfriends or husbands would absolutely be hopping from couch to couch, from family member to family member, staying with whatever woman will let them stay with them if they were not in a relationship with you. While I'm aware of the fact that my husband would absolutely still be working a job regardless of whether or not we were in a relationship, the amount of work and the amount of jobs that he has had to work throughout our relationship is far greater than what it was back when he was a single man. Because providing for oneself is far different than providing for a family of four. There is a difference in the amount of groceries you have to buy. There is a
True.
difference in the amount of clothes and shoes you have to buy.
True.
There is a difference in the amount of self-care products that you have to buy, like toothpaste, toothbrushes, deodorant, shampoo and conditioner. We all had thick curly hair. Like the job my husband currently has, he had to cut his hair, but before he had to cut his hair was thicker and longer than mine. And we have 2 children with thick curly hair as well. I'm talking hundreds of dollars in conditioner. With all 4 of us using the conditioner on a regular basis, we're lucky for a bottle to last a week. Meanwhile, back when my husband was a single man, he could buy him a bottle or 2 of conditioner and it would last him for a while because he was the only one using it. There's a difference in the utilities. It's far different when you're living in a home by yourself. You wake up, turn the lights on, get ready for work, turn all the lights off, leave for 8 hours a day, and the lights don't get turned back on until you get back home from work. As opposed to you get up, you turn the lights on, you get ready for work, and then you have your wife and your children still at the house running the lights all day while you're at work, and then they're still being ran once you get home. There's a difference in the water bill when you're the only one brushing your teeth, the only one washing your hands, you're only washing a small amount of dishes. As opposed to 4 people brushing their teeth, 4 people washing their hands, 4 people having to take showers and take baths, 4 people worth of dishes in the sink. Do a lot more loads of laundry. You need a lot more laundry detergent. You need a lot more dryer sheets. You need a lot more toilet paper, a lot more paper towels. It is just like in reality, you are going to need to make more money because you are having to spend more money when you are taking care of an entire family as opposed to taking care of yourself. Honestly, something I've noticed is when a lot of women make the argument of like, oh, well, he's not sacrificing by having to go to work because he would have to work a job regardless, and they don't see a man having to leave his family to go work for long, long, long hours as a sacrifice, is because they are in a relationship with or married to a man who doesn't like them and their children. So in her mind, it's not a sacrifice because he doesn't like to spend time with you guys anyways. But when you're in a relationship,
She doesn't even like the man in the first place because I think if you like who you date, if you like who you're married to, you will never come out to say something like that. Oh, well, if he wasn't with me, he would still work. You won't do that. I don't think healthy people make those kind of comments. I don't think people who are healed, people who are nice, I don't think good people make those kind of comments. It's always those who want to push a narrative that will even come up with those ideas. Like it takes somebody who is miserable, it takes somebody who is unhappy to sit down and think of, well, if a man is not married, he will have to work regardless. Seriously. Are you that jobless?
with a man who genuinely loves you and genuinely loves your children and genuinely loves to spend time with y'all, you recognize that he is sacrificing time that he would rather be spending with his wife, with his kids. He would rather be home hearing the first words or seeing the first steps or going to all of the performances at school or being able to attend all the field trips. He can't do all of that because he's having to work longer hours in order to provide. My husband is currently working a job where he's been gone for months. And it's absolutely a sacrifice because he genuinely wishes that he could be here spending time with me and the children. We are, as of right now, working on relocating to where he's been working, but we haven't been able to do that yet. So all of these months, he's missed a birthday for my daughter, a birthday for my son, one of my birthdays, one of our anniversaries, some of the holidays. That's genuinely all he talks about. But he's willing to sacrifice that time in order to provide for me and our children. While yes, I am very blessed and lucky that I have been allowed to stay home and raise my kids without having to also worry about maintaining a job. However, my husband is very aware of the sacrifices that I have made in order to do that. My husband tells me all the time how much he knows that I've sacrificed and how hard of a job he knows that I have. He does any and everything that he can to take some of that burden off of my shoulders. He lets me know how much he appreciates the fact that I raise our children and love our children and care for our children. He appreciates and acknowledges the fact that I do most of the cooking, most of the cleaning, most of the child rearing. He has never once made me feel like I don't do shit just because I don't bring in a check from a corporation, from a 9-to-5 job that I go and clock into. Either one of us are a martyr in this relationship because we're both happy in this relationship. All sacrifices have to be made because that's just the belly of the beast when it comes to being in a long-term relationship and a long-term marriage and raising children. Neither one of us are resentful of the sacrifices that we've had to make because both of us are in a relationship and a marriage that we are happy being in. So we are happy to make the sacrifices in order to make things work. Please do not sit here and believe all these people online who convince you that marriage has to be some back and forth power struggle. Let them convince you that you should have to fight tooth and nail to be seen and appreciated in your marriage. Please, please, please don't let them convince you that your marriage is supposed to be the misery Olympics, as though it's supposed to be a constant back and forth competition as to who is more miserable, because your marriage isn't supposed to be miserable, and it doesn't have to be if you don't marry an absolute piece of shit loser.
True. True. She nailed it. She nailed every single one of her fucking points. The truth is that everybody makes sacrifices in their marriage. Marriage is all about sacrifices. Dealing with human being in general is all about sacrifices. You can never really have a healthy marriage, a working marriage, a successful marriage if both of you are not making sacrifices. But here's the thing. The problem is that a lot of people go into marriage with a 50-50 mindset. That's where the problem starts for so many people. Marriage is not 50-50. Marriage is not even 70-30. Marriage is not 80-20. Marriage is 100-100. Marriage is you and your partner coming into that union with everything. All of you, your strength, your weakness, your baggage, your everything. You come in 100% into the marriage. You're coming in to give everything you have. You're coming in to pour yourself into it. And when both of you come in with that mindset, you come in and you're serving each other. You're helping each other. You're building each other. It's no longer about, who is sacrificing more, who is sacrificing less. Because in marriage, there are seasons. There are seasons where the man will have to give more. And the more he's giving is not that he's giving 70% more or whatever. The more that he's giving is that he understands that my wife cannot do much at this point because of where she is. Now, I have to support the family more. I have to be there for her more. And every day, the way I say it is this. I know some people say, there are some days you wake up and you give 70% and your wife have to be, like if your wife is 30%, you have to give 70%, or like you have to give all those kind of stuff. But here's what I'm thinking. Here's how I imagine it, or how I process it, is that every single day in your marriage, you should be giving 100%. The 100% you give today might not be the 100% you have to give tomorrow. But what it means is that wherever you find yourself, give 100% of it. I don't know if that makes sense. Wherever, if you wake up today and you're not feeling so great and you're feeling tired, you're not feeling like doing anything, in that state you are, make sure that you're giving 100% of that state. Every state you find yourself in, give 100% of it. So if you're feeling so good today, if you're feeling so amazing today, give 100% of that feeling and that mood you are in that day. If you're feeling tired, if you're feeling weighed out, give 100% that you can at that moment. It's not 20%, it's not 10%, it's not 5%, it's not 30%. Give 100% every day. However you wake up, however you feel, give 100% of how you feel that very day. And that's how you make your marriage work, because that 100% is you're giving shows that you're committed. That even though that you're not feeling the best, even though you are not feeling great today, but you still want to give all you can. That's how you build a healthy marriage. That's how you make marriage work. You make sacrifices for each other. It's not about finding the perfect person. It's not about who makes more sacrifice than the other. It's not about cooking and cleaning. It's not about provision. It's about waking up every single day and deciding to give your best to each other, choosing your partner every single day. Anyway, if you like this video, do well to subscribe, hit the notification button so that you'll be notified the next time I upload another video, and do well to leave a comment and tell me what you think about this video. What do you think about this whole gender war or this whole fight that is going on today? People talking about each other this way, people talking about sacrifices, and how you yourself are avoiding these things and making changes to make sure that you don't become one of those people. All right, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.